Hey folks, and welcome back to another episode of your Brains Coach podcast. My name is Shurina. I'm your host, I'm your Brains Coach, and it is my job here to bring to you all the best brain body tools to feel, look, and do your absolute best. Folks, it's, all in the brain. Today, while preparing for this podcast, I was reading some of the studies. Today is, as you noticed from the title of this podcast, is all about brain news, right? So I was reading some studies yesterday and today, kind of like weekly roundup from different resources. And one of the study was about, and let me just maybe start with the study. So the study's name was Untangling the Human Mind, the Interplay Between Cognition and Personality. One of the key findings here is active and energetic individuals were found to have superior command over various cognitive abilities, including knowledge acquisition and memory retrieval, right? So active and energetic individuals were found to have superior command over various cognitive skills and abilities. And I was thinking to myself, why are we still surprised that when people are healthy, when people get healthier, when people get more active, when their bodies become better creators and producers of energy, why are we still surprised that their brains work better? Like everything in the body starts working better when we are healthier. Why are we still surprised? And some people might look at it as, well, this is like looking down on some people. Like if I'm not active and as energetic, then I'm not that smart. Well, it's not about you being smart or not smart comparable to some table somewhere or to some cognitive test. It just, when taken individually, each of us, when we invest into our health, into improving of our health on a cellular level, what happens is, again, cells start producing more energy, they start working better in all the other possible areas and possible key indicators of performance. And absolutely every single tissue and every single part of our body start functioning better. Like you're not surprised that when we say, well, active and energetic people run better, healthier people tend to have better fitness. Why are you surprised that your brain is a part of that fitness, right? So that's the conversation we need to have more in society, like being respectful to people, but also saying the truth. Yes, if you do not take care of yourself, if you drink, if you eat junk food, if you don't take care of your stress levels, if you don't sleep well and your routines are all over the place, you are not going to be performing as well cognitively as you could have. Now, nobody's talking about, the value of anyone's as a person, like, it's not some competition on who's better in the world. But the truth is the truth. Like active and energetic people do better on almost every indicator compared to the version of cells that is not that active and energetic, right? So study number one that I've kind of jumped into, but that's because, folks, when I say brain tools will help you to feel, look, and do your absolute best, like your personal best, you're going to get closer and closer to that the more you work on your brain's performance, on your brain's health. That is the truth that is now being confirmed by more and more studies. And you, again, shouldn't be offended by that or shouldn't be thinking it's some woo-woo, notion or what Angela likes to say. No, it's a logical progression of our knowledge and understanding and a logical progression of improving function of any mechanism or any organism or any machine. When we take better care and improve efficiency and effectiveness of the function of any machine, human body including, it's still a biological, but still organism, machine, just, designed differently than mechanical stuff. And everything else starts working better. Another the kind of cool facts about the study. So the study drew upon data from over 1,300 studies across 50 countries involving over 2 million participants. So other key findings of the study, one specifically I found very interesting. Individuals, people who tend to experience high levels of depression or anxiety may find it more difficult to accumulate knowledge or reason logically. And that also, folks, shouldn't surprise it. When somebody is in high level of depression or anxiety, there is something not working right in their brain and body already. Like depression and anxiety are not normal state of beings. They are the indicators of a poor health overall. So of course, then people will have hard times also accumulating knowledge and reasoning logically, right? Because the brain works, and it already shows as depression and anxiety in a completely different way. And so something went wrong, right? And that's why people have high levels of depression and anxiety. And at the same time, of course, the brain performance overall going to be affected. Again, we shouldn't be surprised. It's body, brain, everything is connected. What else we have here? There are robust positive relationships between many cognitive abilities and open-mindedness, receptivity to fresh ideas. Well, I think that's also kind of true, even though hard to trace the connection to physical stuff. But if you are open-minded, if you accept ideas, if you have growth mindset, if you want to learn more, of course, you're going to have better cognitive abilities. So what we know from all of the studies, people who have the mindset that they can improve through learning and working on their skills, those people have better skills and better cognitive abilities. It's kind of like, placebo effect, but without you taking anything. But you also will put a lot more effort into actual skill acquisition and into actual acquisition of knowledge compared to a person who does not believe that into many different ideas and who is kind of stuck in their own state of knowledge and skill development. So I think that's enough for this study that, by the way, comes from University of Minnesota and was published on neurosciencenews.com. Now, from untangling the human mind, the connection between personality and cognitive abilities, that was the name of the study, by the way. Let's talk about manifestation. I just found this fascinating and interesting. USA Today. Does manifestation work? How this TikTok trend can help you and how it can't. So there is like a whole bunch of videos right now about different manifestation techniques, like 36 billion and counting TikTok views to prove it. The power of positive thinking. So this whole article talks about the idea that manifestation works and it doesn't work. What do I mean by that? It works because it changes your state. If you focus trying to manifest something on specific goals, if you start thinking positively about attaining a specific outcome, a specific, prize or specific reward, when you start thinking positively, you open up your mind to thinking about how you can actually get it. And so you start getting ideas about actions that you can take to actually get this result in your life. And when you start taking that action, that's when you start, quote unquote, manifesting. It's not manifesting, it's just taking action. But what research shows and data shows is that when you focus more on things that you want to create, and your mind will give you the ideas about how to make this happen based on your knowledge, on your database of experience, your prior experience. Your mind will also start filtering the outside world, the environment. That's what they call reticular activation system. So your mind will become a better filter for that specific thing or vision or reward that you're trying to manifest. And that's how you start seeing again more possibilities and you get more ideas about the thing that you want to bring more into your life. And then if you take action towards that, consistent, proactive action, then of course there is a much bigger chance that you're going to get closer and closer and closer to that that vision. Now, where it goes wrong with manifestation is when people just don't change a thing about their life or their actions, and they just sit there trying to manifest. It's like if I were to try and manifest $1 million business without investing into courses, without working on my marketing skills, on my business skills, on my sales skills, without putting action into, without reaching out to like now hundreds of people, literally, without talking to my potential customers every single week. If I were not putting in the work, why would I think that I would manifest $1 million business? I don't know, maybe miracles do happen like that, but I personally never saw a person who literally just did nothing and it just came out of thin air. So that's about manifestation, and that's what also researchers talk here in this article, that, the power of positive thinking works if you actually do something with that thinking. But also another important aspect of the article was that it does change your mind. So thinking positively about the outcome you want, it does changes your mind. It does change your motivations to pursue certain things and to take certain actions, and that can powerfully shape and change your reality. So that's on manifestation. And now, folks, from all the manifestation and cognitive abilities and how your personality can affect your cognitive abilities, even though I don't personally think, back to the first study, that being active and energetic is a personality trait. It's kind of what you develop, Since I was a kid, my father, for example, made me exercise every day. So I don't consider myself super energetic person naturally, but because of my habit and because I built up this capacity in myself to produce that energy, I am more proactive than a lot of people around me, right? I do not remember a day when I haven't exercised, for example, and I always, when somebody asks me, do you want to do this? My default answer is yes, let's try it, right? So I don't think it's a personality trait, but something that you develop, like a capacity again in yourself. But let's transition to other topics. Let's talk about food and what it can do for your brain, for your memory, for things like, again, anxiety and depression that can screw up anyone's manifestation or a life's purpose or life's goals and quality of life, right? Let's start with memory boosting foods and compounds. So study more than 3,500 healthy older adults were randomly assigned to receive a daily flavanol supplement in pill form or placebo pill for 3 years. The active supplement contained 500 milligrams of flavanols, including 80 milligrams of some other really scientific word that I cannot pronounce, compound, an amount that adults are advised to get from food. So at the beginning of the study, folks, this whole study, the name of the study is Memory Boosting Power of Flavanols in Aging Adults. In some other article, the same study was named something about eating berries and chocolate can improve memory in aging adults. By aging adults here, they tested individuals over 60. And so the study is the first to conclusively show that a diet low in flavanols contributes to age-related memory loss. Supplementing flavanols in mildly flavanol deficient adults over 60 significantly improved their performance in memory tests. The research supports the theory that the aging brain, much like a developing one, requires specific nutrients for optimal health. I wanted to read you the identification of nutrients critical for the proper development of an infant's nervous system was a crowning achievement of 20th century nutrition science, says the study's senior author, Scott Small, MD. He is a professor of neurology at Columbia University. In this century, as we are living longer, research is starting to reveal that different nutrients are needed to fortify our aging minds. Our study, which relies on biomarkers of flavanol consumption, can be used as a template. Well, the whole idea is we didn't know before that, for example, a developing brain of an infant needed very specific nutrient to develop properly. Now that we know that, we see how actually development of kids, of infants, improve, especially if parents really pay attention to their own diet, like mom's diet before pregnancy and during pregnancy, and when she breastfeeds, and then how the diet of a kid, of an infant, growing child affects their attention, their focus, how they develop emotionally, cognitively, their memory, etc. So this was kind of what they say a crowning achievement on the 20th century. Now we understand how developing brain works and what nutrients it needs. Now this century, they say, we are finally starting to understand what support an aging brain needs in order to facilitate a better decline, right? We'll all experience decline, but the difference might be like losing your mind and not remembering what you had for breakfast, and between someone who is in their 80s and 90s and still does research in leading neuroscience labs and still publishes studies, right? The difference is freaking huge. And probably none of us wants to lose their mind when we're any age, not remembering what we had for breakfast, what kind of interaction we had, our friends, etc. That's just a very poor quality of life, and we have to rely then on other people, right? And again, the difference when you take care of yourself, your lifestyle, your nutrition, like this study reveals, for example, the difference is huge, folks, and it accumulates. This is not something you can just, do today and it's going to affect you tomorrow. Certain things are not reversible, but certain things, even at aging adults, like here, they took people over 60, in 3 years, it reversed their age decline by like, what did they say? Like 3 years, I think, also, by certain percentage. It was like a big percentage, right? They improved memory by enhancing the growth of neurons and blood vessels in the hippocampus, like our memory center in the brain. Specifically, what is recommended to get those flavonols in foods, if you might also supplement, because like the study, for example, did supplementation, but don't forget, folks, the supplementation took 3 years, right? So it's something that you start taking and you never stop. A lot of my clients ask me, Angela, when do I stop taking supplements, like specific supplements that we take to balance out brain chemistry and to balance out their health? And for few of those supplements, it's like never. You just keep taking them, maybe, changing brands, improving here and there, and changing stuff, because with age, our bodies, our brain change, and our also needs change, like this study again showed, right? But certain things you just start taking and you continue taking them. So, but back to foods. If you want to get your flavonols from foods, eat especially berries and super dark chocolate. If you can get, like myself, sugar-free, 100% or close to that, that's the best deal for flavonols. And you gotta eat it daily. I personally eat a cup of blueberries a day with my yogurt, and I eat 30 grams of dark chocolate, usually 99, 100%. The darker I can find, there is like this amazing Lindt 99 and 100 that I absolutely love. It tastes amazing, a little bit more expensive than stuff with sugar, but it's kind of like my brain. If it works well, I live well and I work better. So anyhow, that about memory. Another kind of fun thing. No, let's do not so fun thing, and we'll end on a fun note. So iron deficiency and the Sign-Tech Daily. Iron deficiency could be making your mental health symptoms worse. As evidence of a link grows, people with depression, anxiety, and other mental health symptoms may want to get tested and eat iron-rich foods or take supplements. So they did A growing amount of research suggests that one key nutrient, iron, plays an important role, and that having too little of it can affect mental health symptoms. Yet many people who have mental health conditions like depression or anxiety and the health providers who treat them may not know about this link. And that's, folks, I just want to emphasize this phrase that health providers who did not receive nutrition education, and most health providers did not, unless they stated, I'm a nutritionist, etc., I'm a dietitian, etc. So most health providers will not have nutrition certification, and for sure they're not going to be reading all of the studies that come out on nutritional psychiatry, for example, or on brain nutrition, etc. And they will not know that, for example, when somebody is depressed and anxious, they need to perhaps get tested so at least their key nutrients like iron are where they're supposed to be, and that is not causing them being more anxious and depressed. The reason why iron, for example, is that important, it is needed to create red blood cells that carry oxygen towards all of our tissues and organs, and of course to the brain that is highly sensitive to that oxygen supply. Without proper oxygen supply and blood circulation towards our brain, everything gonna work not that great. And so iron is one of those key nutrients that facilitates that oxygenation of our brain and other tissues. There is another, specifically, in addition to its well-known role in helping red blood cells perform the critical function of ferrying oxygen around the body, iron helps your body make the molecules that are needed to make key brain chemicals. Specifically, iron plays an important role in how your body makes the neurotransmitters called serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, all of them important in mental health. Folks, if somebody's brain is not able to produce a sufficient amount consistently of serotonin, dopamine, adrenaline in the brain, that is a disaster that will affect focus, that will affect motivation, that will affect learning ability, that will affect mood and sleep and appetite and sexual drive, and basically everything that you do and experience is going to be affected, and not in a good way, right? And iron is a key nutrient that is needed to make those crucial molecules, those essential molecules for health and well-being and brain performance. And so iron, folks, and this article went specifically, into details on that, because a lot of people do not get enough iron, or either they do, do not eat enough of this in the food, in the, their meal plan, and, or they do not supplement. And the reason why many people might be lower on iron, because you need to actually, higher iron also not that great, but more often than not, more often than not, people are actually low in iron for many different reasons, because they might eat a lot of red meat, but that comes in a form of junk food or processed foods, and that can deplete your iron status as well. And then people on the other side who are into healthy eating, they might limit their red meat supply, or because they read that it's not that great. And the only source that can consistently deliver iron in sufficient amounts is eating a little bit of red meat every day, 3-4 ounces. That's all you need of good quality red meat. And in the conditions of overall great lifestyle and good nutrition, good balanced nutrition, that's all you need. But again, people either eat too much and suffer from that, and then they have poor lifestyle and diet on top of that, or people eat too little because they're on some vegan or vegetarian diet. In fact, I have a friend here and he's like, I stopped eating meat because I thought that was not that great. And then we started supplementing, and supplement had the iron, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, I feel so much better. And then I told him, well, maybe you should just get back to eating your vegetables and red meat as you used to, instead of listening to some Dave Asprey who doesn't know much about nutrition except for, bulletproofing stuff and some biohacking stuff. That's where actual nutrition science comes in, not some guru lifestyle tips that, I'm not saying they're all bad. What I'm saying is your essentials first, then look at all of the other stuff. And people like Dave Asprey do not always tell you that, you might be needing a specific food for your iron and you need to eat it every day if you want to get your iron. So red meat is still primary source of good quality. Of course, I'm talking about, lean, the best like cut of beef, or even better, like things like wild game. Like here I have ostrich. It's an amazing source of iron, and that's all you need, folks, for that iron. But because I don't eat ostrich, for example, every day, I do supplement, and I'm a woman. Women need more iron. And then other foods, beans, specific kinds of beans, a lot of greens and spinach that you need a lot of every single day. So people do not eat that stuff. And that's why we get iron deficient and other stuff deficient people who suffer from depression, anxiety, and a lot of it, folks, is unnecessary. Some people, yes, they have other stuff and imbalances that cannot be easily corrected by balanced nutrition and exercise. But a huge percent of people just do not have proper lifestyle and nutrition practices for a healthy, happy brain. Getting back to iron deficiency, yes, it can cause depression. Yes, it can cause anxiety. Yes, it can make you unhappy, unfocused, low on energy. Let me read you what you can experience when your iron goes low. Work feels too hard. You feel cold, fatigued, and weak. You get depressed. You get dizzy or lightheaded when you change, the position of your head. You get pale skin. Your heart skips a beat, beats irregularly, or flutters. You get muscle cramps. Your digestion gets sluggish, and your skin health deteriorates. Like a lot of shit, folks, happens, sorry for my French, when you don't get essential nutrients, of which iron is one of those very important nutrients. And are you surprised if you don't supply enough oxygen to all of your tissues and organs? Why would you be thriving? That would be a surprise for me as a nutritionist. That's about it, about the sad news. So let's now finish on a fun and bright note. The title of the article, neurosciencenews.com, ultra-processed foods. And then it goes, AI's new contribution to nutrition science. So artificial intelligence made a contribution to nutrition science. How so, folks? That is really a cool thing, and you can do something at home to check it out. Summary: researchers developed a machine learning algorithm, Food Pro X, capable of predicting the degree of processing in food products. The tool scores foods on a scale from 0 to 100, 0 minimally or unprocessed to 100 highly ultra-processed. Food Pro X bridges gaps in existing nutrient databases, providing higher resolution analysis of processed foods. So, folks, to give you a little bit of background, in Brazil, a few decades back, not that long ago, they developed this way of this way of talking about foods, healthiness of foods, when it comes to, and they divided foods based on the level of processing that goes into creating this food product. So basically they created categories of foods. Yeah, they categorized foods in unprocessed, minimally processed, and then culinary ingredients, and minimally processed, I believe that was, and then processed, and then ultra processed, being the worst for health outcomes from the research they accumulated and from all the databases, all the human data that we've accumulated across countries and generations. So this new system that is called NOVA, N-O-V-A, that categorizes foods based on their procession, and the more processed the food is based on all the data that we've accumulated so far, this is the best indication of the health outcomes you're going to get from your diet. So basically, the more processed your food is, the more of it is in your diet, the worse you're going to be doing health-wise. And so now, because it was so hard to figure out, okay, what foods are processed, minimally processed, unprocessed, in the middle, ultra-processed, it was kind of, you had to understand how it all works, and it was not that convenient for a lot of people. So now they have this tool, and you can access this tool at truefood.tech. truefood.tag. So truefood, one word, and then dot, and then tag. So you can access that tool that they developed that is AI-based, artificial intelligence based. It analyzes all the ingredients and how they're put together, etc. And it gives each product a score from 0 to 100. And the bigger that score is, the more processed your food is, and the worse health outcome you might expect based on all the prior knowledge of humanity. So the worst health outcomes you can expect in your health sooner or later. And then the database also suggests the substitutions for the foods that might be higher on the procession score. So I did a couple of experiments. So first of all, I'm like, let me check my chocolate where it falls. So my chocolate, 90% or 100% leaned, is 0 or 1 procession. Right? If you take, actually even 70% has like 8% of procession. Then we go into, let's say, linked milk chocolate that has 26 points for procession. I also looked at different like yogurts and cereals, what other people consume. And I figured I can now send people to this tool and tell them, if all of your food is below 5, you have nothing to freaking worry about. Because if you add sugar, etc., the score goes up and up and up, right? And if you add other ingredients like additives, no matter whether they, fats or carbs or sugars or whatever, the score goes up and up and up. So I'm like, okay, if somebody wants to be really healthy, below 5, it's where you are. That's where I am. If you want to be an okay, then probably below 10, below 15 is a good spot. Closer to 5 for most of your foods, but then if you have, here and there, like 10 or 15 is good. And you kind of definitely don't want to go below that on a regular basis, unless it's once in a while thing, or, dessert on the weekends, etc. They have things like crushed pineapples here that is 28 points, right? So and mind you, it says Dole crushed pineapple in heavy syrup, all natural. So I really like this database because no matter how natural it is, it says on the packaging, or whether that's organic, non-GMO, etc., there is no bullshit about this system. It still tells you, the procession of your, pineapple is still 28, even if it says it's freaking organic. Or some Black Forest juicy fruit bites that are some fruit snacks that are organic. They have like 29, right? And that again just gives you a much better foundation of how to choose your food products. So you can put it, this as a bookmark on your phone browser, on your home browser. And when you go shopping and you're not sure which product to choose, then look it up and see what score it has. Again, stay below 10, ideally, even better below 5. And then if it's not there, see what substitutions they offer. And it will help you to shop much better. And I think that's a pretty amazing tool based on this data that we have, that the more processed foods the person or the whole population, the whole country have in their diet, the worse health outcomes they have. They analyzed, so the AI tool confirmed that more than 73% of the US food system is ultra processed, the worst of the worst. And are you still surprised that US is one of the worst countries when it comes to health outcomes? So AI confirms this. Again, no bullshit here. And again, sorry for my French. But that's a cool tool. The link to that is, just remember it, truefood.tag, right? Check it out. And check out all of your favorite products. And that's it for today, folks. I hope you found this amazing and useful. So the takeaways, first of all, It's not your personality, it's how healthy you are going to affect your brain performance and even your personality traits and how better you learn, etc. Right? Then we also learned that your memory is affected by berries and fruit and vegetables. The more of it, the less cognitive decline you're gonna get. And they even did this study on older adults, and if it worked for older adults, imagine what's gonna happen if you start eating it now, if you are not over 60. Then we eat, to shortcut, eat a lot of berries and dark chocolate, like 99%. That's the best. Iron deficiency. Check it out. There is ferritin test. Just do your annual checkup if you're not sure. If you don't eat good quality red meat, on a regular basis, then you might be deficient, especially if you're a woman, and that can be contributing to depression, anxiety, and a lot more things when it comes to brain states, mental, emotional state, and brain performance. Then we learned that ultra-processed foods, the ultra-processed foods are not good for you, folks. The more you eat, the worse you do. But there is a good news that there is a tool that can tell you, in all this food confusion in the world of millions of food products, you can actually evaluate your product and have a score of how processed from 0 to 100 your food is. Again, ideally you would stay under 5. That's where your grandparents lived. 10, it's okay. If you go below that, beyond 20 on a regular basis, probably not that great. And for sure, if 70% and more of your food is 70 score and more, you are in a really bad place and heading to disaster sooner than later. That's it, folks. I hope you again had a lot of information, and soon on a Wednesday, I'm going to share with you the link to my updated challenge. That's the last piece of news for today, folks. I just want to invite you to my burnout proof Tech Founder 5-day free challenge that's happening next Monday. So if you have Tech Founder friends on the verge of burnout, they always complain about fatigue and poor sleep and, how caffeinating themselves throughout the whole day, focus, energy all over the place, barely functioning and afraid that they either gonna make it or die trying to make it. If you have friends like that on the verge of burnout, not sure how to handle work-life balance, this is a 5-day challenge for tech founders specifically, where we're going to learn how to simply build a system that's going to make you burnout proof. It's very simple, very straightforward, no tech required. And also you're going to get results like better sleep, better energy right away, and better focus, and just feeling happier. That's what we all going to learn. How to actually build things, go through a lot of failure, and still be happy. And happiness and high level of motivation and emotional connection to the reason why you do things, that's actually a legitimate tool that will reduce your fatigue, your stress levels, and will help you to go longer, last long enough to succeed. Build faster, have a life, and last long enough to succeed. That's the tagline to our free 5-day burnout proof tech founder challenge. So if you have friends, please do share. If you have communities of founders who'd like to attend, please do share. The more people, the better. I'd highly appreciate you sharing and reaching out if you have audiences that you can bring. Folks, that's going to make my day, my week, and probably months and years. So folks, burnout proof tech founder free 5-day challenge. Build faster, have a life, last long enough to succeed. Share, let me know if you'd like to come on board, participate, and become burnout proof founder who scales, lives, and is a happy person. So reach out, share, and folks, till next time, have an awesome week, and I'll talk to you very soon.